There we go. And that is one of the big ones, like I said. So this, this has got its place. But what's nice is by having a rig set up like this, you just slide your float down. You don't need millions of rigs set up. A lot of people associate like F1 fishing. You've got to have 20 top kits, all different depths, and you don't need to be like that. Some of the best boys in the business don't set up loads of gear. I think it's just about having a few rigs and then you can just tinker with them on the day. Fishing shallow maggots is a brilliant way of catching big weights. Today we've come along to Tunnelbarn Farm where I recently won a festival. In this video I'm going to show you exactly how I fish shallow and how I caught that absolutely massive weight on the last day. So next, let's check out these rigs. Right, so when it comes to rigs, I've got 6 top kits set up, but I'll split them into 2 different batches of 3 because 3 are for fishing down the edge of the cover and 3 are for fishing down the middle. Let's start with down the middle rigs then. So all these rigs are basically identical apart from the depths they're fished. So on all 3 of them I've got blue hydro, because what you'll find there's lots of like little stockies and stuff in here. So I want something nice and light for them, but obviously when them 3-pounders grab hold of it, there's plenty of guts there to get them in super quick. So depth-wise, I've gone for, like I said, 3 different depths. I've gone for 15-inch, 17-inch, and 22-inch. Oops. They're the sort of depths that I caught on last time when I come here. So, like I said, all got blue hydro on them. They've all got 4-inch lashes with just 1 microcube number 9. All 3 floats are ARs, 0.1 or 2x10, however you want to say it, and they've just got 3 number 11s spaced out down the rig. 017 mainline, nice and durable, because hopefully we're going to catch a lot of fish and it's going to take a lot of punishment on our rigs, especially up and down on the landing net, rim of the landing net. Hook lengths, all of them have got 3-inch hook lengths on them, 011 end gauge, and then all of them are finished with a 16's F1 pellet. So what I've got with them, I've got a bit of versatility on my longer rigs if I need to. That rig that's 22-inch, I can always slide my float down and fish with a little bit of a longer lash if those fish don't want to come under the pole tips. And you'll find that if it goes like really flat and bright, you want something with a bit of a longer lash just so you can flick around, just to give you another option. And then my other 3 rigs, again, they're all the same but just different depths. So this time instead of blue hydro, I've got orange hydro, just because we're fishing to cover and I need something with a bit more guts just to pull them out of the reed, so to speak. All these, instead of ARs, I've got some little 0.1 carbon cookies there. Again, 017, 3 number 11s on each of them, but again, just 3 different depths. And what I can do with these then is I can either have all my shot down, I can have them spread, I can push them all up underneath the float, and if I want to, and the fishing's really good, I can put like a number 8 microcube on there and just overshot them. So we've got 3 rigs there for down the edge, 3 rigs for down the middle, all identical, just basically different depths to cover your options, because these fish will be up and down through the day. So that's the rig sorted. Let's check out the bait. Right, so that's the rigs covered, onto the bait, and all I've got is a couple of pints. Just got some white maggots there from Tunnelbarn, bought them in the shop. They always do good bait here, to be fair. The maggots are always big. So what I do, rather than bring bait with me, I just buy it from the shop. You know it's fresh. And with these bigger maggots, like today I'll be feeding bait out to my hand. The bigger the bait, the easier it is to throw and the better it groups. So it's really important, get some good quality maggots, as big as you can get them. That's super important for this method. Right, so location wise where we're going to fish, all I want to do is throw bait where I can comfortably group it. I don't want to try and throw it too far and go everywhere. I want it all to land in a nice pile. So on the day I only fished a top 5 out in front of me. So literally just there, just where I can keep those maggots like really tightly grouped. That's really important with F1 fishing. You don't want your bait going everywhere. You want it going in almost on a dinner plate. So that was one area. The next area, what I've got down the edge, I've just got some reeds coming off the bank about 6 meters. So what I also done, I just threw maggots down there. What I was conscious of is I didn't think I could keep fish coming for 5 hours shallow off one line, so I just wanted somewhere else to go, just to be able to rest my lines. So I could catch a few in front of me, 5 or 6 fish there. As soon as it started easing up, I just drop in the edge, catch 2 or 3 really quick, and that just gave my main line just enough time to recover. So what we'll do, we've been feeding it for a little bit, both lines. we've been feeding for about half an hour now, which is about the length of time I fed it for in the match on the day. It's not a line that you're going to be able to drop straight in on. It's not a line you're going to be able to drop straight in on and hammer them straight away. You're going to have to prime them up, especially when it comes to feeding like maggots and casters. They're going to take a while, get them primed, get them really confident, and then you can go in and catch a proper big weight of them. So let's get a rig. So let's pick up one of the rigs and make a start in front of us. So like I said, we've been priming it up now for a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start, because I've got 3 different rigs, I don't think I'm going to catch them at 12 inches this early. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to start on my best line on the day, which is 17 inch deep. So I've just got a little 0.1 AR, and then all I've got then is 2 number 11s down the line, and then I've just got another one tucked up underneath the float. So, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to hook a single maggot on, but I'm not going to hook him through the point or through the fat end. I'm just going to hook him through the middle. So he just sort of hangs just like that, almost flat. And then a really important thing with shallow fishing is just keeping that feed just dribbling in. So before I ship out, I'm going to feed a couple of lots of maggots, but all the while I'm making sure I'm keeping that edge line topped up as well. So again, I'm just going to throw a few maggots at the spot. I've got a little bit of tape there on my pole, so I know where I am. Again, maggots. Just lift my rig out, lay it out in a straight line. It might take a little bit of time just to build it up, but by just continuously feeding those maggots in there, and there we go. And that's the beauty of priming it up. You know, we haven't been in there very long, and already it's gone. Probably going to be a little stocky to start. There you are, yeah. Nice little ghosty stocky to start. These are like your little weight builders, almost like bonuses you don't realise. Keep still by. What these will weigh come the end. Nice little chunky one, hooked in the top lip, that one, which is nice. So I'm going to stick at this depth a minute, and I'll keep the strung out rig. On the day, strung out is way better than a bulk down or over the shotted. So again, I'm going to hook that maggot through the middle. It's just about now getting into a little rhythm. Before I ship out, I'm going to throw my maggots, 2 lots. I'm not worried about having those ducks there. Sometimes they can make it even better. Just take that junk off. So when I flick my rig, I'll just lay it out in a straight line. And that's, there we go. Look at that now. That just pulled the elastic there. You just know everything's absolutely bang on when that's happening like that. It's an amazing venue, Tunnel Barn. It's such a good venue for like every peg you can catch fish like this. Even when there's loads of people on the matches here. You can see him there, hooked absolutely perfectly. Our little 16 F1 pellet, brilliant for this game. I got 0.11 hook length. I never feel like I'm going to get broke. Like on the day I caught 187 pound, and I never had my hook length break once. What was a little indication missed then. So I just want to lift it, drop it in. It's just a good way of keeping everything tight. But what you'll find is it's very rare you just keep catching at the same depth. They'll be up and down like a fiddler's elbow, these fish. You'll have like a mega run on this, think, oh, this is the way to catch them now, and then you can go a while and you just can't catch one. Oh, there we go. Stocky one, I think. This time. Drop him back. Already, these fish have come right up on us. So what I've done, I've just pushed 2 shots just under the float now, and I've got another number 11 3 inches underneath, so I've only got 1 shot down the line there. I just want to try and get a bit of a slower fall again if possible, because I've had one grab it when like my float is 4 inches out the water. So let's see. There you are, look, I don't know if you've just seen that then on the close-up, one just swirled there. So I'm just going to flick that out in a straight line. It's got a, like almost free fall on that rig now. There's a swirl just behind my float. I'm going to lift it, drop it back in, because that's when they'll grab it, just as it's going through. Lift it, drop it in. Maggots. No bites that time. But they are there, look, one just swirled there now. Oh. Just try and keep that little lash as tight as I can keep it. One got away with that then. So something's not quite right with our rig. And there we go. Just on that rig. Only 1 shot down the line this time. I'm just trying to get it so that maggot's almost like free falling down. So I'll give him a bit of bait. I'm just going to shallow up a little bit on this now, because obviously these fish are super high at the minute. So I'm just going to take like 3 inches off the depth, not loads. So I'm just going to hook up there and then just slide those shots down, sort of 3 inch. It's a little trimmer there, push him down. So now I've literally got, I'm probably fishing 8 inches deep there, no shot down the line now. Let's see if that'll sort them out a little bit quicker. Because with this kind of method, you're just constantly trying to keep your catch rate high. I've got ducks everywhere here. Go on, off you go. Go on. Got to watch these ducks because they will grab your hook bait if you're not careful. So let's just see what happens with this little rig. So I think already it might be a case of coming off these and getting in that edge for a look. Yeah, and that's what it's like. You can feel like it's absolutely solid with fish there, and then it feels like they're gone. So I'm going to put this rig down, because I'm keen just to drop in the edge there now. So I'm going to start on my shallowest little rig for down the edge, because from past experience I know they like to come super shallow underneath those reeds, and when you catch them shallow down the edge, like really shallow, they tend to be those bigger ones. When you catch them a little bit deeper, you catch a lot of them little stockies. So what I've just got that little 0.1 carbon cookie, no shot down the line, just all up underneath the float. My wind's starting to throw up a bit, yeah? Got orange hydro this time, just so I can lean into them, because if you hook them biggers down the edge, they do tend to try and get back underneath all the roots and stuff. So I'm just going to throw a few maggots in, try and clear these ducks out if I can. And then I'm just dropping my rig down the edge and just trying to pull it just into the grass best I can. Keep throwing a few maggots in there. These ducks could be a problem now. There we are, there's one down the edge. And all the while, just flicking a few out in front of me, keeping them fed. And it's just about rotating these two lines, finding the depths, and then just rotating your lines. Ooh. Oh, that's one of them good ones. That's a nice fish. These are like the serious weight builders, these. You soon rattle up a big weight of them. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try and get rid of these little ducks because I don't want one picking this rig up. Right, those ducks are finally gone. So, just going to keep that bait going in down the middle and also down here. And I'd stick on that same little dibber rig, no shot down. That seems to be the best way to catch them at the minute down there. But I have got two other options if I need to. And also if I want to overshot, all I need to do is pinch like a number 8 micro cube just onto my bulk. And that'll sink the float enough to fish overshotted. But on the day, I never caught a fish on an overshotted rig down here. So fishing down here is exactly the same as in front. All the principles are the same. Just lifting it, dropping it back in. Keeping that bait going in. Trying to just keep my little lash as tight as I can keep it. Ideally, you won't be striking at bites. It'll just be, you feel a bump on your pole tip and then that old pole tip will just plunge into the water then with a nice F1 on the end. Just keep laying it in there. Keep them fed in front as well. Just catching up on a bit of stuff there all the time for some reason. There we go. I'm just trying to keep, when you're fishing for like big numbers of fish like this, I'm just trying to keep everything as smooth as I can. I don't want to rush anything and get tangles and stuff. Little chunky F1. My maggot just through the middle again, and before I ship down there, just to make life easy for myself, give them some maggots. A couple of maggots out there, and I'll just keep an eye on that. If I see any swirling, it won't be too long before dropping in there. And the same also goes for down here as well. I'm always looking for signs of fish. They sort of give themselves away when they're there a lot of the time. You'll see an odd one swirling. There we go. This line down here is brilliant because they're so confident because of the cover over their heads from all the reeds and stuff. And any chance I get, feed that middle line. So important just to keep maggots raining in there. Because you, in a match conditions, you can soon lose them if other people around you are feeding bait. Not so bad today because we're on our own, but it's a nice F1. There we go. So then what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and catch another one down there, and then I'll be back out in front. Before I drop in down there, feed some maggots, and then I can just concentrate then trying to hold my rig as tight as I can. I've just seen the reeds bump then, so there's obviously a fish there. Probably a few fish there, to be honest. There we go, straight away. And that's why I got the orange hydro on there, so I can just get them away from all those stuff that's hanging in the water. But then when you get them away from there, it's nice and soft. You can ship your pole straight back. Oh, maggots. It feels like one of them big old ones. He was probably the one tapping on that reed. Oh yeah. It's a queen F1 that. There you go. And you can see, like, don't take long to build a big weight when you've got two lines bouncing like this. But I think the biggest part is feeding and finding that depth where they're sat. Because that fish is so quick, I can't resist just dropping back in there again. So what I'll do again, give him a couple of lots of maggots. Just a little bit awkward fishing this way because his body's twisted all over the shop, but you'll have to put up with that if you've got F1's, I guess, eaten by these reeds. I'm just going to lower that in. Just for a second, I just don't want to feed anything for a minute. I just want to try and keep that rig as tight as I can. Just keep lifting and dropping it. And if it don't go after a while, just lift it out, lay it back in. There we go. You just absolutely buried that pole tip underwater then. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come off this now. Just going to build it back up again. Nice chunky F1. You'd be surprised, you know, they're not, these aren't big F1s, but you'd be amazed how much they weigh come the end. Just put him back. So let's put this edge rig down a minute. Keep those maggots going in there. And down there. And I'm going to go back on that rig we were on, but I'm going to go back to how we was originally. So back to sort of 15-inch, and then just 2 shots down the line, one underneath the float. Let's go back to that, because I haven't seen one swirl there for a little bit. So we'll have a go with this one, and if it's not amazing, we'll drop back onto a 17-18-inch rig. That's how you want the feed going in, all in like one pile. And there we go. Straight away. And you won't catch like this if you're just plunging one line. If you've got 2 places to bounce off, it's so good. It feels like you just don't stop catching then. Oh, little cheese toasty F1. These are nice, these ones, look. Got the old ghosty head on them. Spoke to my mark there. It's a bit of a wind kicked up now, so I have to throw those maggots a bit hard. I can't get the grouping on them when you go like that, but you just have to put up with that whilst that wind's blowing a bit. There we go, look at that. Shallow fishing don't get much better than that. And then it's just about getting into a nice rhythm then, and sort of settling into your match. Keeping both those lines fed, keeping everything smooth. What's happened there? Caught up on something, that fish then. Bit of an old snag there, look. Don't know what that was. I'll sort that out and drop back in again. And then another good thing to just keep an eye on is when you're hooking your maggot, what you want for this kind of fishing is super sharp hooks, because obviously a lot of the time they're hooking themselves. So just when you're hooking your maggot, just if it's pulling a little bit as you're trying to hook on, just bite that hook length off and put a new one on. Make sure it's sharp all the time, because if you don't, you'll have them like bumps on your pole tip and there's nothing there, just where the hook hasn't caught hold. It needs to be razor sharp. You need plenty of hooks tied up. Look at that. I just absolutely love this kind of fishing. It's amazing. Oh, another little ghosty one. Got a nest of ghosties. Give me a fright, that one. It's popped off of the net. What I want to do as well, like I said about keeping an eye on your hook, keep an eye on your back shot as well. Like that back shot has moved, so I just want to pinch that on with my teeth, with my old sheep's teeth. Make sure he's nice and tight on there. My silicone has moved a little bit as well, just from that fish popping off. So what I'm noticing now is those fish are hooked right on the point of the end of their mouth. So I don't know whether it'll be next chuck after this one. I might just drop onto a slightly deeper rig again, because it feels like they're having to come quite high to pick up my hook bait. I think there's a few stockies in my peg now. What you find with them is when you've got them stockies there, you do tend to miss quite a few bites. You'll get an odd little bump on your pole tip, and see that one that got away with them. Perhaps it's time to change that hook. We've had a few fish on it now. There we go. I'm going to drop in next chuck on that deeper rig, because I just feel like I want a bit more of a drop on my maggots. I just want it constantly falling through and not getting stuck hanging there. That feels like a good fish, but I'm just all the time I'm just trying to think how I can up my catch rate. That feels like a big boy, mind. Might be a carp, that is it? Oh, that's a serious F1, that is. Oh yeah, that's a Bentley F1, that. Look at him. They are the serious weight builders you can catch in here. Won't take long to string a few of them together. So let's pick up that other rig again. I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like that other rig might be a bit better. Just 2 shots down the line. Keep feeding him. And down there. There's a lot of chopping and changing and a lot of changing lines, but it's definitely worth it when you pull your nets out at the end. So I'll do that one. I'll lay it all out in a bit of a straighter line. There we go. Like that didn't have that at full depth, but just where it's falling through, I think they like it just as it's dropping in rather than just hanging there. Stocky one. Probably not going to need that rig that's set at 22 inches today, and in that match I didn't catch loads on it, but I did just tick over when it felt like there was no fish there and I could drop down a little bit deeper. It did catch a few, so you always got to have them set up, but on the day you'll find, you know, you'll be mainly using 2 or 3 rigs, especially if you're going to catch a big weight. And often the higher you can catch them, the better the fishing tends to be. So just keep an eye on that. Try and keep it tight. Little dink again. See a big one just spooked out of the peg there when I hooked that. Nice fish though. I'm going to try and nick one more on this rig, and then I'm going to go back in that edge if I can throw some maggots. Now that wind has just turned now. Come on, get down there. That's it. Right, so let's get one more on here, and then I'm keen to go back down to that cover. There we go. And there's fish now. I don't know if you could see them bow waves. There's some serious amounts of fish there now. Oh. Keep still, bite. Oh. He's gone through the net, that one. Out you go, bite. Right, so I'm going to pick up. I don't see any point in going deeper down that edge at the minute, so I'm going to stick to that little shortest one we got. There he is. These little dippers are perfect for fishing down these edges. I wouldn't really want to fish a bristle down there, just in case that bristle, when you hook a fish, gets caught up in some rubbish under the water and ends up snapping it off. At least with these dippers you don't get that problem. So I'm going to throw a load down there. Keep a few going in there. There's another joint for that. And you can see it's just, it's nice, straightforward, enjoyable fishing. You don't feel as if you're rushing a million mile an hour, just nice and smooth. Just keep rotating rigs, rotating lines. You can't go far wrong, really. Oh, you dink then. Don't come back here, ducks, again now. There we go. Just absolutely wallop that poult up under the water. And feed those ducks on the bank. It's a little bumblebee duck. I don't want to hurt them, do you? There we go. Market's still okay on that one, so we'll feed a few there. A few back there again. And just pull that little rig as close into that grass as you can get it. There we are. That's as quick as that. As you can probably tell by this video now, you're not going very long at all without fish, but that's because we're rotating our lines, not just plundering, because I know what would happen if you just fish that one line there or down there. You have those really long, like 10-15 minute quiet spells, and obviously the more you hammer them, the harder they become to catch. But if you can just keep resting them all the time, you can just keep them coming for a full 5 hours. Whoa, bite. And they're all good chunky weight builders, and then when you get a few of those big Bentleys mixed in with them, that's when you can catch your seriously big weights. Just get rid of that bit of muck off a line there. Slide that down, slide my back shot down. Just keep an eye on your rig all the time, make sure everything is absolute money, because you can't afford to waste time in these kinds of matches. It's about being efficient. Oh, there's one just swirled short, so we'll catch a couple more on this. As soon as I feel as if it needs a little bit of a break, we'll just be straight back down the middle again. That wind is just swirling up, it's making it awkward to feed this line here. There we go. Ooh, little ghosty one again. Look at him go in like stink there. Oh boy. You want to go, buddy? I'll go with you. I'm going to go with you, don't worry about that. Oh, he's got underneath the reeds now. I'll just net him under there. Oh, he's caught me up. Right, so let's just catch one more down this edge. And then we'll rest it. And go down the middle, I think. So again, just pull my rig right into that grass. A couple of maggots, and then I'm just trying to hold that little 4 inches of line as tight as I can. Keep them going in there. Feed the ducks. I got maggots going everywhere here. Big mist that then. Just move spots a little bit. What you can do when you're fishing to cover is just go all around the cover. There we are. Just move spot a little bit there now. It's gone straight under. That was an unusual F1. That is a mirror F1, that one. F2's, I think they're called, are they? Dandy fish. Just keep that fed there. And then we'll pick up. I think we'll go back to our shallower rig because we've had a little bit of a rest, and what you'll find when you be rested it, they'll rise a little bit higher, and when you've caught a few then you can see they just drop down that little bit further. So I'm going to start on my shallower rig again. Set at 14 inch this is. Hook that maggot to the middle. Take that off. And lay him in. There's a fish there then straight away. See that swirl just past my float there? Just got to watch that duck. Go on, get out of it. That wind's kicking up now, so I'm going to have to hold on to that for a second. I don't know, I think I should be on that other rig already. I feel like they should be on this. They were this one. I was just lifting and dropping that rig again there. Ooh. Got a load of ghosties in my peg today. Look at him, look. He is absolutely dandy. And I've one more look on this, and if it don't go quite quick, I'm going to go back to that other rig again. Because I feel like I should be catching a little bit quicker than what I am. So there we are. Ooh. So just a case with this rig. You can see I was doing there, just lifting it like 2 or 3 inches out of the water and just dropping it back in. I dread to think what kind of weight we've got already. So because that one was quite quick, I'm not going to change quite yet. I just want to drop back in on this. I've got a pair of ducks in the peg now. Got to watch these ducks because they will take your hook bait if you're not careful. There we are. Since those ducks are coming to peg, look, it's just, sometimes you can make it work, but sometimes you can make it unbelievably good. So if you're ever fishing a tunnel and they come into your peg, don't be trying to scare them away. Keep them in there. Keep them fed. Oh, look at that. Oh, queen, look. Yes, queen. Oh, I love these ones. These are absolute money. Look at that. And I've got a reed on him. A bit of foliage. Look at him, look. Can't not love these fish, can you? Some more bait on the edge here. Again, that was so good. You'd be foolish to come off this rig now. Just lower it in nice and slow. There was a fish there. There was just a bit of a movement on my float and a swirl. Look. Just lift it out, drop it in. There we go. They've come absolutely solid on that now. But you'll find, like, at the minute this is the best rig, but other days that slightly deeper rig will be the rig, or a rig even deeper than that can be the rig. So it's just about having everything. I've got 6 top kits up there. Yes, to fish 2 lines, but there's a lot of different depths getting covered there. And you're better off having it set up and not using it than not setting it up and thinking to yourself halfway through, oh, I wish I set that up now, it'd be empty in it. That's one thing you do want to finish a match thinking. So get everything set up, everything set right, have all your depths covered. You can play about with your shotting as you go. Like, I don't like to set up, you know, like, I like to have a rig that I can overshot if I want to. I don't want an overshotted rig up and a normal rig. I don't want millions of rigs up. Change rigs again. I think what I'll do, I'll just go on a slightly deeper rig here. Push that last dropper just up so it's like 5 inches from the hook, and then spread the other one out a little bit more central. Just get my eye in before I drop my rig in. Yeah, that's perfect. Flick that out past the back of my feed. Try and hold on to it. A roach? What's that all about? Ah. Go away, duck. Don't even think about that. There we go. It's on the drop again, that one. You can see by fishing like this, it doesn't take very long to do a big weight, because it's just like constant. When you've got 2 lines, you're just constantly catching fish. Sometimes you can just fish that same line if you're on an absolute mothership, but a lot of the time it's not like that. It's about ducking and diving, rotating lines, different rigs, different depths. That's the way to do it properly if you want to get the most out of your pegs. And, throw there, throw there. Try not to hook a duck. Just an amazing bit of fishing when you get on them like this. I love it. Love coming here when it's good like this. What you'll find is you'll have these runs of these like big uns. you'll have some stockies and an odd big un, and then you'll have like a really good run of the big uns where you put like a big weight together quick. And that's what you're looking for. So it's hard to tell at the minute which is the best of these, the really shallow one or this slightly deeper one. I think it's about 50-50, I'd say. I'm sort of leaning towards this one. I think you get more out of this rig. You explore more water, catch them on the drop. There's an indication then. There's a swirl there, so what I might do, just pick up that shallower rig again. As soon as you start having a little run of miss bites like that, see, they're up above me again there now. Yeah, so take this one off again. No good sitting there and just fishing below them. Need to keep following them all the time. There we go, look. You just know instantly when you've got the right rig on. It just hammers under straight away. Oh, he's angry. Ooh, nice fish. There's one thing I want to try now. Is what I'll do with my deeper rig, my rig that's set 22 inch. I'm just going to slide that float down to sort of 10 inch and have a little bit of a longer lash that I can just flick around my feed a bit more. Nice fish that is. Oh yeah. Because what you find is when it's like real flat like that, sometimes they don't want to come under that pole tip, and if you can just flick a little rig past your feed, that can be a winner sometimes. We haven't got loads of maggots left here, so we'll keep going till we run out. Keep a few down there. So here's my deeper rig, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to fish this at sort of, what am I going to say, 10 inch, because they're obviously up high there now, and what you can see there, I've got that nice little lash, just so I can flick. Look, I've got that much line there. I can just flick it slightly past my pole tip. Might just help us catch a couple of those extra, those bigger, those big wary ones. And they're the ones obviously we want to catch. I'll ship out a few maggots and then just swing that rig out. I've got a little back shot on there, just try and keep in touch with it. Can miss a few bites on this rig, you've just got to put up with it. Probably those little stockies, that is. See when you're missing them bites like that. There we go. And that is one of the big ones, like I said. So this, this has got its place. But what's nice is by having a rig set up like this, you just slide your float down. You don't need millions of rigs set up. A lot of people associate like F1 fishing. You've got to have 20 top kits, all different depths, and you don't need to be like that. Some of the best boys in the business don't set up loads of gear. I think it's just about having a few rigs and then you can just tinker with them on the day. Yeah, it's a nice F1 there. Oh yeah, it's a proper bite. Like I said, they're the ones we want to catch. And they are the ones who tend to catch on that rig. Look at him. So we'll keep going for a little bit longer. We haven't got much bait left at all now. But I just want to catch a few more on this if possible, and a few more in that edge. So just flick that in. You can't really fish like this when it's super windy and the conditions need to be right. There we go, look. Oh, well, that's definitely one of the big ones. It's a brilliant rig for this. Nice light little float. Just a couple of number 11s on it. Only got one shot down the line on this one now, so he can fall down nice and slow, that maggot. Oh yeah. These are the boys. These are the boys. These are the ones where you go from catching 120 to 180, 200 pound. Look at them. Old as the hills. He's probably been in here since the start, that one, looking at him. Probably 20-year-old. Keep them maggots going in there. Way duck. Just lay that in and then just hold on to that little back shot there. Like I said, you're gonna miss a few bites, but that's just nature of having a longer lash. But you might catch more fish because of it. So it's just one of them. If you're missing like bite after bite after bite, then it's not right. But at the minute, like this, like you can see the size of these we're catching now. Look at them, look. Yeah, lovely. That's just by doing one little change on a rig, just by picking up a deeper rig, sliding the float down, having that 18 inches of lash, and we've caught like 3 or 4 of those big ones now, quickly on it. Both them lines fed. Just hold on to that back shot. think this is turning into the best rig of the day, to be honest. This F1. Nicely hooked as well. See that duck now, we've got to watch him, because he'll want to eat that maggot. Can't fish this rig now with these ducks here, see? There we go. Just by keeping that line as tight as I can, that one's just pull the elastic. You can see this blue hydro, you just get them in no time. Lovely and soft when you hook them, and then a couple of strips and out pops a 2-pounder. Just slide that, make sure that back shot's like 4 inches from the floor. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to call it on this fish. We're almost out of bait. We've caught an absolute shed full of 2 lines, like I said earlier on, a couple of different rigs. I hope there's plenty in there you can take out of that, put into your own fishing. And next time you come to Tunnel Barn or anywhere that's full of F1s like this, you can start off on the front foot and really get the most out of your day. So let's try and get this one in the pan. Looks like a good fish again. Oh yeah, he's a cracker. Oh yeah, he's a cheese, this one. Come out from there. Get out from under there. That's a big boy. I can't think of a better way to end than on a fish like that. So there it is. If you needed any more of an excuse to get out and catch some big F1s, that is certainly it. So I hope you've all enjoyed all that, and I'll catch up with you on the next tutorial. Right, so when it comes to rigs, I've got 6 top kits set up, but I'll split them into 2 different batches of 3, because 3 are for fishing down the edge of the cover and 3 are for fishing down the middle. Let's start with down the middle rigs then. So all these rigs are basically identical apart from the depths they're fished. So on all 3 of them I've got blue hydro, because what you'll find there's lots of like little stockies and stuff in here. So I want something nice and light for them, but obviously when them 3-pounders grab hold of it, there's plenty of guts there to get them in super quick. So depth wise I've gone for, like I said, 3 different depths. I've gone for 15 inch, 17 inch and 22 inch. Oops. They're the sort of depths that I caught on last time when I come here. So like I said, all got blue hydro on them. They've all got 4-inch lashes with just 1 microcube number 9. All 3 floats are ARs, 0.1 or 2x10, however you want to say it. And they've just got 3 number 11s spaced out down the rig 017 mainline, nice and durable, because hopefully we're going to catch a lot of fish and it's going to take a lot of punishment on our rigs, especially up and down on the landing net, rim of the landing net. Hook lengths, all of them have got 3-inch hook lengths on them, 011 end gauge, and then all of them are finished with a 16's F1 pellet. So what I've got with them, I've got a bit of versatility on my longer rigs if I need to. That rig that's 22-inch, I can always slide my float down and fish with a little bit of a longer lash if those fish don't want to come under the pole tips. And you'll find that if it goes like really flat and bright, you want something with a bit of a longer lash, just so you can flick around, just to give you another option. And then my other 3 rigs, again, they're all the same, but just different depths. So this time, instead of blue hydro, I've got orange hydro, just because we're fishing to cover and I need something with a bit more guts just to pull them out of the reed, so to speak. All these, instead of ARs, I've got some little 0.1 carbon cookies there. Again, 017, 3 number 11s on each of them, but again, just 3 different depths. And what I can do with these then is I can either have all my shot down, I can have them spread, I can push them all up underneath the float, and if I want to, and the fishing's really good, I can put like a number 8 microcube on there and just overshot them. So we've got 3 rigs there for down the edge, 3 rigs for down the middle, all identical, just basically different depths to cover your options, because these fish will be up and down through the day. So that's the rig sorted. Let's check out the bait.